Good afternoon, Dunkirk and Fredonia listeners, and welcome to High Noon Friday, Fredonia's longest-running variety radio program, brought to you by WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. I'm Alex Erwin.
And I'm Hunter Halterman. Today's episode is available streaming worldwide at FredoniaRadio.com.
Coming up, we will have news, sports, and weather. But first, campus news. After students were attacked on campus last semester while walking on Ring Road late at night, a new campus student lift service has been launched. The service is available from 9:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. 7 days a week and can pick up students from any location on campus. Earlier this month, SUNY Fredonia President Stephen Collison sent out a Google form to all students to vote on the new name for the service. It has been announced that the service will be called the Late Night Fred. To board the Late Night Fred, students simply need to call 716-467-8057, and they will be driven to their requested location. Once again, that number is 716-467-8057. Enrollment at SUNY Fredonia is at a low. As of February 15th, enrollment numbers are at approximately 3,350 students. Over the past decade, SUNY Fredonia's enrollment has decreased by around 40%. Corey Basic, the Executive Director of Enrollment Services, attributed these low numbers to several factors, such as low high school graduating classes, less students attending college, and COVID-19.
Thank you, Alex. Today we'll be having our classically chaotic segment, Trivia, slightly after 12. We will also be listening to a few of our weekly segments, such as Just the Facts and The Phantom Zone.
Let's start with our local news and sports updates prepared by Cascio and Trevor, followed by our weather update prepared and read by Jules. What's going on, Cascio?
Good afternoon, Fredonia. I'm Cascio Fonseca here with your High Noon Friday local news update. In local news, the rate of new confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Chautauqua County continues to drop, according to information provided Wednesday by the Health Department. The county did note that this information, including new cases and virus-related deaths, reflects the minimum locally, as positive cases determined through the use of at-home testing are not always reported. For the week ending February 12th, the county reported 339 new cases, or about 48 per day. This represents the fifth week in a row that cases have trended downward, and the first time the daily average has dropped below 50 since the health department went to a weekly report. There were also 10 new virus-related deaths for the week. To date, there have been 26,548 recorded cases of COVID-19 in Chautauqua County, along with 26,041 recoveries and 315 virus-related deaths. The county health department also has updated the way it documents hospitalizations, going from reporting those with the virus in the hospital to noting people admitted to the hospital due to COVID-19 or complications because of the virus. As of last Saturday, there were 15 people with the virus admitted to the hospital. Decreasing cases have also led to area hospitals bringing back some services that have been temporarily halted by the recent holiday surge. Regarding vaccination status, 61.5% of the population over the age of 5 has been fully vaccinated, while 68.9% have so far received at least one dose. In other local news, the return of an in-person concert to King Concert Hall, showcasing 3 student ensembles at the State University of Fredonia, will highlight the School of Music's 11th Choral Festival on Saturday at 4 p.m. Chamber Choir, directed by Associate Professor Vernon Huff, College Choir, directed by Assistant Professor Adam Loop, and Camerata, directed by Lecturer Brent Weber, will perform in the concert open to the public. The festival's guest clinician will be Dr. Andrew McGill, who is regarded as one of the leading conductors of his generation, admired for his passionate artistry, as well as an unusually wide-ranging repertoire that spans early music to new composed works. He will conduct each Fredonia ensemble in a selection, and also Aaron Copeland's The Promise of Living that features the combined choirs. Community members can purchase tickets in advance for $8 at the Fredonia ticket office in the Williams Center. Tickets for Fredonia students are free if picked up in advance at the ticket office or are $2 at the door. For more information, contact the ticket office by phone or online.
Hello, everyone. My name is Trevor Hauer here with your High Noon Friday sports update. The Super Bowl is completed. The Los Angeles Rams, for the first time in 22 years, have won the Super Bowl over the Cincinnati Bengals. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp was named Super Bowl MVP. Matthew Stafford, in his first year with the Rams, won his first Super Bowl. And Odell Beckham Jr., despite tearing his ACL in the middle of the game, has won his Super Bowl in his career as well. In the MLB, we are still in a lockout. As of Tuesday, the pitchers and catchers were supposed to report to spring training, but for obvious reasons, cannot be able to do so. While Commissioner Rob Manfred hasn't delayed spring training yet, the writing is pretty much on the wall that spring training will be delayed in the next coming days. In the NHL, are the Buffalo Sabres the streaking Sabres? The Sabres have won 2 hockey games in a row and have scored 11 goals in 2 games. Jeff Skinner is on a tear, scoring 6 points in 2 games. Tage Thompson cashed in for a shorthanded goal against the Islanders. And the Sabres are still in the running to receive the first overall pick in this year's draft. We know the Sabres' odds to go to the playoffs are virtually gone, but it is always fun to see them win. You've been listening to your sports update on High Noon Friday on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno.
The Northern Chautauqua Weather Update, being brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems.
Good afternoon, Fredonia. It's your resident weather girl here, Jules, Hoepting, bringing you your weekend forecast. Are you sick and tired of all this, what now has become typical Western New York winter weather that can most certainly be linked to the fact that Homo sapiens have kicked enough greenhouse gases into the atmosphere to dramatically increase the Earth's temperatures in a short amount of time, which, when charted, is often referred to as the hockey stick chart? Well, you're schist out of luck. This weekend will be nastier than a crossbreed of the Grinch and Scrooge pre-Epiphany, and the best recommendation I can make is to refrain from wearing a floppy hat for the next 48 hours. But, if you do like the feeling of sticking your head out the car window when driving down a highway and want to feel the power of the wind cleaning out your pores more often, then I guess this weekend is going to be a gold nugget for you. Today, snow showers likely, mainly before 3 p.m., mostly cloudy with a high near 23, breezy with winds gusting 16 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, snow showers continue mainly after 2 a.m., areas of blowing snow after 2 a.m., temperature rising to around 26 by 3 a.m., wind gusts at 11 to 16 miles per hour, increasing to 25 to 30 miles per hour after midnight, and winds could gust as high as 45 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 100%. Tomorrow, the snow showers continue, high near 24. Winds continue to gust around 30 miles per hour with gusts as high as 45 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is still 100%. Tomorrow night, chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 10. Winds winding down to 9 to 16 miles per hour. And Sunday is actually living up to its namesake, and it'll be mostly sunny with a high near 42, still breezy though. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 33, and the breeziness continues. And there you have it, folks. Get ready for hair flopping into your eyes and mouth, and do your darnest to keep those feet of yours on the ground. The weather is bound to let you down, so hold your expectations low and settle for disappointment. Let's take it on back to the host.
Thanks, Cascio, Trevor, and Jules. We're going to dive right into our weekly segments. To start, here's Just the Facts. Welcome back to this week's episode of Just the Facts, where we talk about only facts, no opinions, and just facts. I'm Hunter. I'm here today with Alex.
Hello.
And Chloe.
Hello.
We have a very topical episode today. Ongoing is the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics.
Yes, it is.
Well, for today, we got Olympics facts.
Ooh.
You guys got some fun facts for us?
Yes.
I think I have
Olympics.
both a funky and fresh fact for today.
Funky
Hunter.
and fresh.
Yes.
Funky and fresh.
I'm excited to hear it.
Oh, yeah?
But we're going to start with Chloe.
Yeah, because my fact is just better, probably. Actually,
Why
I don't
did you
think
do
so.
that to me? I was so excited.
That was really
I know you were.
weird.
And that's exactly why I did it.
That was kind of mean.
Oh.
Okay, anyways,
my
while
heart.
Alex cries, I'm going to do my fact. So, do you guys know that figure skating is part of the Winter Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, actually, it was in the Summer Olympics. And I was like, that's really weird. Why would they have it in the summer? Because it's figure skating. Actually, so figure skating became a thing in the Olympics in 1908. And there actually never was a Winter Olympics prior to 1924. So as soon as it hit 1924, when the Winter Olympics became a thing, they were like, yeah, okay, we'll put figure skating in the Winter Olympics. So I guess in the summer, they used to just do it like indoors instead, which I guess makes sense. But now it just makes a lot more sense to be in the Winter Olympics to me personally. So I thought that was interesting.
Imagine you're skating in the summer and the ice melts.
I know, like why? I don't know. They should have just like why was figure skating? I don't know.
Can we all have like an agreement right quick?
What? Right quick?
Yeah. Figure skating is such a beautiful art.
I love it. It's my favorite. It's the only one I like actually tune into because I just never watch the Olympics because I don't have cable.
That's fair.
So I mean, I like watching the videos of it online.
I
think
feel
it's so
like
cool.
I feel like back like when we were small, when we were like little just the facts,
Little itty bitty.
itty bitty boys and
little
girls here.
facts.
Like the Olympics were like a huge deal.
Mhm.
Like everyone
Yes, they
sat
were.
down and watched them. And then like I feel like for like the past 6 years the Olympics have just like happened and went. And like I haven't even realized that they were going on.
Yep.
It's because we're busy.
It's because I just don't have the time to watch my figure skating boys twirl around in the air, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alex, what's your fact?
My fact. I have a pretty funky and fresh fact for today. So, you know how the Olympics are all about athleticism and sports, and,
Yeah, of course.
you know, being big, strong people.
Yeah.
Well, from 1912 to 1948, artists also participated in the Olympics. There were categories for painters, sculptors, architects, writers, and musicians. And they all participated in the Olympics.
Imagine just having like a speed sculpting.
No, see, the thing is that there was one stipulation. Well, there were two stipulations, actually.
There were three stipulations.
No,
actually.
there were two stipulations. One was, which is all Olympic stuff, is that you have to be an amateur and not a professional.
Right.
That's why they got rid of artists, because all of them were professional artists, and they're like, you can't have that.
Right.
Bye-bye. But all of the art had to be centered around sports in some way. So, like the architecture, like for example, the thing that won like the architecture gold medal in 1928 was the Olympic Stadium in Amsterdam that they were doing sports in.
Mhm.
And like for like art, one of the gold medals, I don't have the year here, but it was just like a sketching of like two people playing rugby. And that's just what artists were doing during the Olympics.
Just throughout the like entire events going on, like weightlifting, skateboarding, and all this stuff. They're just this guy like sculpting over here,
Yeah.
like the events that's happening.
Just like so calm, and then everything else around them is just like crazy and chaotic.
Sculpting one bad badminton racket in the
Exactly.
corner of the stadium. That's just, I thought that was pretty funky. I thought
So
that was-
what did the writers do? Did they just did they write about the Olympics?
It wasn't specifically like about Olympics. It was about like sports in general. So
Okay.
I'm guessing it doesn't tell me like what they wrote about. They said that there was categories for dramatic, epic, and lyric literature,
Whoa.
but
Interesting.
the works were limited to 20,000 words, and they could be submitted in any language, but they had to have a translation to English or French.
20,000?
Yes, 20,000 words.
That's a lot of words.
It is a lot of words.
It's really.
I bet I could write.
It's actually not.
I bet I
as
could
many as you
write a
think it
pretty
is.
sick story about like, I don't know, a curling champion in 20,000 words.
I think 20,000 words is like 40 pages on Word.
Is it?
I did the math.
I
that's
don't know.
about it. Because 500 is about 1 page, isn't it?
I don't know at all.
Double spaced, 12-point font, Times New Roman.
Maybe.
It is about 40 pages.
Wow. look
I
at
was
you.
right.
100.
Nice.
That was a fact.
I don't use Word. That was a fact.
a
That was
fact.
impressive.
I know my Word page stuff.
If they had a
Nice.
category for math, Hunter would have won. it
Hunter
right
would have
there.
won
Gold
it.
medal, baby.
Gold medal, Hunter Halterman, bringing it home for
Flex.
Cattaraugus County.
Heck yeah, man.
Nice.
Well, let's take it to my fact. Now let's have the setting, okay? Berlin 1936 Olympics. Jesse Owens. Do we know of Jesse Owens?
Yes.
No.
He was a sprinter that basically showed up the Nazi supremacy.
Okay.
He was an African-American male sprinter who won 4 gold medals.
Okay, cool.
Well, while he was doing that and just absolutely crushing, Japanese side, we had Nishida and O. Pronunciations may be a little off. I apologize. Well, they were very...
I know this fact.
Do you know this fact?
I think I know this fact.
They were very close together. Like they were good buddies. They were competing together. I can't remember what event it was, but they were competing together in something, and they were very close to second place and third place. Obviously, the silver and bronze medals. It was very close, and eventually they chose Nishida to have the silver medal. Well, Nishida did not like that. So when they went home to Japan after the Olympics were over, they had their medals like cut in half, and they had them put together like the two medals. So it was like a half silver, half bronze medal, and they each took one.
Aw.
I knew that fact.
You knew that fact?
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool fact when I found
like
it.
that.
It was a pretty cool
Yeah.
fact.
That's a good fact, Hunter.
Thanks,
10 out
man.
of 10.
That was such a wholesome fact.
It was a wholesome
They're
fact.
called the friendship medals.
Aww. We don't have many
That's so nice.
wholesome facts on this show.
No, we don't.
You know, between dogs being launched into space and giant snowflakes in Montana. Sometimes we just need like a really wholesome fact. And that was
Yeah.
so wholesome.
And I
That
think
was
it was
awesome.
beautiful because during all this, Nazi supremacy and stuff, some light shined through. It
Yeah.
was a fun episode.
You think you could compete in the Olympics, Hunter?
What
sport would you do?
If I had to compete in anything, probably
Yes.
sprinting.
Really?
Yeah.
What sport do you guys think I would do in the Olympics?
Skeet.
Nothing that involves your legs in the nicest way possible.
Not sprinting.
Not sprinting.
Ski. I'm gonna be a championship skier.
Heck yeah, man. Ski or archery.
Yeah.
I bet I could ski. I don't think I've ever skeeted before, but
You could do it. You could do it, Alex.
You should
I
compete in
believe you.
rowing.
yeah, no, that's the perfect one.
Yeah.
I love boats.
Yeah, exactly.
You do love boats.
Boats are my favorite
Boats.
boat.
But anyways, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Just the Facts. I've been Hunter. We have Chloe and Alex, and we'll see you at the same time, same place next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Just the Facts. Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Awards nominee for Best Comedy Show, The Phantom Zone, is up next.
Hello, my name is Ben Anderson,
And I'm Jackson DiCarlo.
and welcome to the Phantom Zone.
Oh, God, that's what you're calling this?
Yeah, why can't we call it the Phantom Zone?
That's not what the Phantom Zone is.
Dude, what name would you pick?
Not the Phantom Zone. That's from Superman.
No, that's not from Superman.
That's what he throws General Zod in. Anyway, you should think of a new
Do you have
title
a
for your thing.
recommendation of a different title?
Literally anything else.
What do you...
What is this show, Ben? Why
What-
am I here?
The reason of the show is I want to make fun of dumb paranormal activity type reality programs
Great.
that are pointless.
That's all I can do.
The first one on the docket. I thought this was going to be an easy one. That's what I thought before I went into this. It's called The Other Siders.
I had never heard of it.
Now, this was a 2009 Cartoon Network live-action ghost hunting program.
Because I remember when Cartoon Network had their live action block, there was like, Dude, What Would Happen in Destroy, Build, Destroy.
Yes,
The first episode's them going to Lincoln Heights Jail,
yes.
which is a supposedly haunted jail. Their job is to go in and see if it's haunted.
Very weird because this is the first episode, but they didn't set up a premise of what's happening.
They didn't give us any lore.
Because I was like, when we're watching this, we shouldn't watch a middle-of-the-road episode. I was like, we better watch the first episode.
Get on the ground floor.
And then we know what's going on.
Because they vaguely went over themselves and what they do. But then they just go right into the jail. And they're like, yeah, maybe we'll find Blue Boy. And they're like, who's Blue Boy?
Well, we're already in the jail when they mention Blue Boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
They set up base camp in the middle of the prison, which is them just with a monitor and where they set all their gear when they don't want to carry it.
Basically, how something like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters works is that there's like, it's usually a 40-minute program. This is a 20-minute program.
Yeah,
But
half the time.
the difference is you have like a little like mini doc
Yeah,
of what this location is,
the lore behind it,
the owner, the spooky things that happen.
sightings and stuff. But they just kind of walk right in.
You know what it kind of feels like?
Huh.
They kind of just feel like they're trespassing.
Basically,
I mean, there was a weird chair. There was a chair on the loose.
that was the most scary thing they saw. They just turned a corner and there was a chair in the middle of the hall that
That's-
a PA had clearly just laid there.
You know how many times they talked about closing a door?
Yeah, they're like, there's been reports of doors opening and closing by themselves. They said that at least 7 times throughout the episode. It's 20 minutes. So about every other 2 minutes, it was like, doors are opening and closing by themselves. Very clear that this is a show that's trying to be quick
and
very
approachable,
cheap. It's
but
very
it
cheap.
feels very cheap. It feels very half full because when you have at least those like other ghost hunting shows, you get the whole package. Like you hear the lore and you get the reasoning. You go in, you watch all the nonsense happen, and then like, well, we didn't catch any intelligence or whatever.
Which is one of the big things that I hate about these types of shows is that ghosts have no rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Ghosts have no rules.
That's why ghosts are the worst fictional creature.
That's why I hate these programs.
With a vampire, you know exactly what happens. Garlic, stake to the heart. But, with ghosts, it's just, it's cold.
We're feeling claustrophobic, so there's a ghost nearby.
They said several times, they're like, oh yeah, we're feeling weird. I feel uneasy. You're a dark prison. Of course you feel uneasy.
Now, the one thing I would want to say that's atrocious on this show.
Sure.
The editing.
Oh, yeah.
This one's very different because it's a lot worse than those other ones because quite literally when something like scary happens, they just don't show it.
Yeah.
And then they waited at least 10 minutes to show it at the very end when they're like, oh, let's review the final
I think
footage.
Ghost shows and cooking shows follow a very similar format, and they can be very boring if you don't have the editing. At least cooking game shows. I'm thinking of Nailed It and Chopped and stuff. Because the Food Network ones, where they always do the sting, and they're like, well, your food was great. It feels very similar. What would you rate the show out of 10?
Oh God, out of 10. I guess The Other Siders is. I feel like it's very average, if not, but it's below average. It isn't it's still a 3.
Yeah, I'd say a 3 or 2, maybe.
Something that would be worse would be you're missing elements.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Because it did have all of the bits in there.
It had close to all the bits.
Low quality.
The only thing that it missed was the little mini doc, which they had to get rid of due to time.
Yeah. Anyway, Ben, do you have anything else to say about The Other Siders?
No, it's bad. Don't watch it.
That's what I would say as well.
We'll see you next time on the next episode of The
Phantom Zone.
Thanks for the segment. Now let's bring it to Josh with the international news.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm your host, Jazzman Josh, with this week's national news. A West Virginia school district is being sued by families for violating separation of church and state. On February 2nd, 2 teachers of Huntington High escorted their classes to an assembly hosted by evangelical preacher Nick Walker. The event was hosted by the school's chapter within the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and was supposed to be voluntary, with an alleged sign-up sheet for students interested in attending. The 2 teachers had mistakenly brought their entire classes. Students were instructed to pray with closed eyes and raised arms. They were also told to give themselves to Jesus and follow the Bible or face eternal torment. Last week, over 100 students of Huntington High hosted a walkout in protest. Lawyers of the Freedom from Religion Foundation claim that the Cable County School District has infringed upon students' freedom of religion before, and the foundation has allegedly written several legal complaint letters to the district in years prior. This Wednesday, the Florida House of Representatives discussed passing a bill that would ban most abortions past 15 weeks of pregnancy. The bill aims to reduce fetal and infant mortality. This bill would allow for certain exceptions, including if the mother is at risk of death or if the fetus has a fatal abnormality. Rape nor incest are considered exceptions on the bill. Opponents of the bill cite Associate Medical Director Dr. Samantha Deans of Planned Parenthood, Florida. Deans claims, quote, "You cannot perform an amniocentesis until the second trimester, and generally speaking, we don't perform an amniocentesis until 16 to 20 weeks," end quote. Amniocentesis is a test in which a sample of amniotic fluid is analyzed to check for genetic defects, fetal infection, and other abnormalities. The current ban on abortions in Florida is at 24 weeks of pregnancy. If the House of Representatives were to pass this bill, it could be effective as soon as July 1st of this year. Earlier this month, the United States Justice Department arrested and charged a couple that laundered millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. In succession to this crime, the FBI announced yesterday that it will be launching a unit for blockchain analysis and virtual asset seizure. With the creation of this virtual asset exploitation unit, the FBI intends to discourage criminals from using crypto to fuel their schemes. This unit aims to fight against ransomware and other cyber attacks, such as the one that forced Colonial Pipeline Company to temporarily shut down the largest United States fuel pipeline in May of last year. The Virtual Asset Exploitation Unit functions as a part of the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team. All right, it is now time for the Jazzman Josh Word of the Week.
The Jazzman Josh Word of the Week. This week is serendipity.
That's right, folks. The Jazzman Josh Word of the Week is serendipity. Serendipity is the phenomenon of finding pleasing things by accident. For example, if you happen to find a $20 bill as you're walking around today, that would be serendipity. Or theft, depending on who you ask. But I won't tell anybody. And then lastly, this Saturday, the 19th, Sarah Halsey will be performing her junior performance recital on bassoon. Her recital will happen 3 p.m. at Deers and Mason Hall. Enjoy music from renowned composers, Villalobos, Hindemith, and more. And that concludes my news for this week.
Thanks for the updates. Finally, we have something special for you all that are listening. It's time for Trivia Slightly After 12. This week, on this segment, we test the minds of students here on Fredonia's campus for the chance to win glorious prizes. This week, we have 3 wonderful contestants ready to win big by answering some questions. Please introduce yourselves.
Am I on the right mic? I was told to sit right here. It's where I was chose to sit.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Ben Anderson. I've been on the show before, I guess. I don't know.
I am Dan Granados.
Hey there, they call me Jazzman Josh.
Dan, go again. Everybody.
Dan, go again.
I am Dan Granados.
There we go. You know, everybody's schedule is so tightly packed this week. So sad.
Including our high noon schedule.
Including our high noon schedule. But you know what? We've got quite the cast today to answer some incredible trivia questions. Well, you know the drill. First one to shout their name after the question is read will be able to take a shot at answering the question. Each question is worth 1 point. And at the end of the game, the person with the most points will be declared the winner. This week's category is fantasy. Here we go. Number one.
Number one.
Number one. The Lord of the Rings trilogy was an extraordinarily successful film trilogy that was released from 2001 to 2003. It was predominantly filmed in New Zealand, which involved the hiring of several New Zealand's natives. About how many New Zealanders were hired to work on this production? Is it A, 1 in 20, B, 1 in 160, C, 1 in 400, or D, 1 in 700? Dan.
There's not that many news. I'm gonna say B.
B, 1 in 60?
1 in 60.
That is correct.
No, it's not. 1 in 160.
Well, he said B.
Which is correct.
But it's
1 in 160 as opposed to 1 in 60.
Yeah, so you...
Did you say 60?
I think, I don't know.
Well, he got it right. He got it right. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Wow, this trivia is going fantastic so far. Fun fact, that is 24,000 people hired in New Zealand.
That's why they wanted to do the Hobbit movies, because they wanted them to get hired again.
Oh my goodness. No, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Well.
Okay, are you ready?
Chloe, read it.
No, okay.
Go.
All right, number 2. The hit Netflix Stranger Things hit series. Let me start over. I'm sorry. The hit Netflix series Stranger Things takes place in the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana. This show is based on a real location, though. Which town is the show based on? Is it A, Weston, West Virginia? Is it B, Montauk, New York? Is it C, Bodie, California? Or is it D, Akron, Ohio?
Josh.
All right, Josh.
B, Montauk, New York.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Josh got it?
Josh
Wow.
got it.
You
Josh
got it.
Oh, is there a fun fact?
There is a fun fact that I think Alex talked about on Just the Facts, actually.
I did.
He stole it, but it's fine, whatever. Anyways, all right, fun fact. Stranger Things is based off of a conspiracy theory coming from the Camp Hero Air Force Base. The theory details psychological experiments and attempts at time travel devices were conducted in the depths of the base. Additional fun fact, one of the High Noon Friday producers had a family member who worked at Camp Hero. Extra point. Ready?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna chime
that
in.
you wrote.
Huh?
We should really.
Yeah,
designate
I was
these
gonna.
better.
I was gonna. Yeah.
Oh well.
All right.
Go ahead.
Which which High Noon Friday producer's family worked at Camp Hero? They cannot confirm nor deny the theories, though.
Who did it?
Who did it?
Who was it?
Whose producer's
Whose family?
family worked at Camp Hero?
The options are me, Alex, Hunter, or Chloe.
Ben, I think it's Chloe.
No.
Okay.
Either of you want to steal?
Sure. I'll go ahead for another one. It's
All right.
Josh. Alex.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Oh.
My family worked at Camp Hero. I cannot confirm nor deny the theories, though, that time travel existed at the Air Force Base.
I mean, I think you signed a contract saying that you can't. Say.
I mean,
Are you sure that existed in the past tense is the correct use for describing time travel, which
Exactly.
would therefore be perpetual?
I cannot confirm nor deny whether a time travel device had or has or is located in the Camp Hero Air Force Base.
Ongoing.
But, ongoing.
Question number 3. There are many fantasy creatures, such as fairies, gorgons, and fauns. Which of the following creatures is thought to represent strength, military leadership, and courage? Is it A, chimeras, B, griffins, C, dragons, or D, golems? Dan. Griffins is correct.
Wow.
Dan's on a roll.
He's on a roll.
Ben,
Yeah.
what's going on in there?
A lot of things. I didn't even know what I signed up for.
That would imply that you did sign up for this.
That would also imply that, and I did not.
Fun fact, a griffin is a half-eagle, half-lion creature that is sometimes thought to be the king of all creatures, guardians of great treasure, and to have abilities to cure blindness as well as other medical powers. Question for the room. Who can tell me what a chimera is? No one?
Robot animal.
Nope.
No.
I'll give you an extra point if you can define a chimera.
I was gonna say, can any of you guys do it, or?
Do you want to try?
Are you asking the question, Ben?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to give it out to the floor before I tried
It's
answering.
like a
I know you know. I'm not
Okay.
asking you. You're not getting points.
I mean,
What do you mean? I want
Out of the
points.
3 guests we have.
I'll take a guess.
Okay, Josh, what is a chimera?
It's a hybrid abomination of sorts.
Yes. Combining what?
Lion.
Yep.
X.
There is lion in there.
Yeah.
There's lion in there. Okay. Dragon.
Also dragon, yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's a third one.
There's a third one.
Mhm.
Eagle.
Close.
I think
Ish.
I think
It
it's
is
a
another-
hawk.
Nope.
Okay, so some type of bird. Crow?
No, not a bird, actually.
No? Never mind. Oh, I got 2 or 3.
I'll give you 2/3 a point.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll take 2/3 a point. Thank you.
I mean,
2/3
2 out of
point.
3 ain't bad.
It's a
Oh,
lion,
snake, isn't it?
a dragon, and a goat.
Oh,
my.
Why'd you say close?
I
That
don't
poor
know.
goat.
Yeah, then it wasn't close.
How is an eagle close to a goat,
Because I thought it
Jackson?
had like eagle wings, but I remember that it was dragon wings that it has.
Oh.
Because it's got lion claws in the front. It's got dragon wings up top, and it's got like goat legs in the back so it can kick.
Wow.
That's
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
It
volatile.
was in Percy Jackson.
It was. I also made a chimera call for my Audio 1 project. It was pretty baller.
Wow.
Alex, question 4.
Question 4. Well, in the hit book series and show Game
No,
of Thrones.
I'm canceling you. Chloe, you should read this question. You wrote it.
What?
Hi.
All right, I'll.
What's going on in there?
Oh, Dylan.
What? Huh?
Surprise! Surprise!
We have a surprise
Additional
guest.
guest. I will hold up on the
We have
question.
an additional guest. This is,
Okay.
everybody, put your hands together. Put them together.
Okay.
Put your hands together.
For
Oh.
superstar Dylan Rowski.
Is he coming
Is
in?
it coming in? I know
He's not in the
Dylan.
room yet.
Dylan, you're not behind.
Hey, take a seat over there at that microphone.
Is there-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's going to be
well,
on
we got
mic
Mike
2.
Probably,
Mike 2.
Mike
That's
two.
not
probably
true.
Mike
I
1,
moved the
right?
mic.
Hey,
Oh, you
Dylan.
moved it?
Oh.
What's going on?
Not much. I love your hair.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back, Dylan.
Welcome.
Dylan was here last night on a local lowdown. He's gonna be on that episode, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we announced that yet.
Well, okay.
Well,
Dylan put it on his Instagram.
It's a high
No.
noon first.
I don't know what that is.
Coming now on High Noon Friday. No,
Breaking
Sneak preview. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Mel at least.
Please don't tell Mel.
Anyway, we're in the midst of fantasy trivia, Dylan.
Yeah.
And the current standings are Josh on your left with the Fredonia hat has 2 2.5 points. Dan directly to your left has 2 points. You have 0 points.
Yeah, I do.
And Ben also has 0 points.
So,
it's anyone's
so
game.
Dylan, can we combine to make one team since we're so far behind?
You guys would be losing immediately because they would combine to make a team, then have 4.
Well, they don't have to. I think it's only fair.
You think it's fair, team?
Say,
Okay,
Jackson.
It's done.
Oh, it's done.
Oh no! I thought they weren't allowed to.
All right, my
I'll tell
buddy
you what,
Jackson. I want
you down this whole time.
This show is straight out of a fantasy book with how crazy it's getting.
All right, so I know we don't want to tell Mel, but I want to make a bribe for that third, that 1/3 of that point that I'm missing.
Okay.
If you don't give me the third of the point, I'll tell Mel.
He's blackmailing me on my own show?
I mean,
are you
I
blackmailing
think that's
me?
a blackmailing point.
Are you gonna that?
Damn you.
I mean,
All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well.
Watch your step when you're walking home.
Jeez.
Okay, Chloe.
I can't believe that works.
We have now Team Josh and Dan versus Team Ben and Dylan. Team Josh and Dan
sorry,
have
I
5
don't know
points, and
anything.
Team
It's
Ben and
fine.
Dylan have 0 points.
I just got thrown in.
So
All
you'll
right.
read question
So,
4,
yeah,
Alex will read 5,
okay.
and I'll read 6.
All right, so question 4. In the hit book series and show Game of Thrones, which of the following is not a real house? So we're looking for the fake one here, guys. Is it A, Lannister, B, Stark, C, Aridin, or D, Martell?
Do we just?
Oh yeah,
Say your
I
name.
just realized Dylan doesn't know how to play.
Yeah.
Dylan, do you want to buzz in?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the answer?
C. Aridin.
Yes, that is true.
Very correct.
Quick recap on the
Yes.
rules. After the question is read, you are able to shout your name and then you can answer.
Gotcha.
Shouting your name is our buzzing in.
Yes.
Gotcha.
We don't have the budget for a buzzer.
I would
We don't
like
have
the,
the budget.
I would like the audience to know that he was actually trying to buzzer the table.
Yeah, you just slapped the table.
Gently hitting the soundproof table that we have. Thank you, Dylan.
All right, fun fact, Game of Thrones has won 59 Emmys and has featured 73 episodes over 8 seasons.
What's everyone's take on Game of Thrones?
Have not seen it.
Should have been 7 seasons.
I'm with Chloe here. I have
The
not
first
seen
3
it.
seasons were great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
I did not know what I was doing when I made up this question, and when I made up the third choice, I looked at one of the houses and then I changed it up slightly.
Oh.
Yep.
Veridin.
Nice. Aridin.
Aridin.
Well then.
Well.
Question number 5. Fantasy literature can take many forms with a wide array of themes. Question is, though, which of these is not a subgenre of fantasy? Is it A, mercredi fantasy, B, xianxia fantasy, C, isekai fantasy, or D, Bangsian fantasy?
Ben.
D. Bangsian fantasy is a type of fantasy.
Damn.
Josh. Xianxia fantasy.
Xianxia fantasy is a type of fantasy.
Oh,
It's up for grabs.
Dylan.
Ooh,
B.
Dylan.
What did
B.
it
B was Xianxia fantasy. That is incorrect.
Dan's got a 50-50, Dan.
What are the options?
Smart man.
The options are mercredi fantasy or isekai fantasy.
What do you think?
Dan, do you have?
He's phoning a friend.
All right.
Phoning a friend.
All right. Team Dan, Josh. I gotta say, mercredi sounds kind of like they're trying too hard to come up with a name.
Italian? Are you? Dude, I'm right here.
Turn around.
What's happening? This is my show.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm being bullied.
Mercredi
You
doesn't
are. It's
quite
being taken
sound
over.
real enough for fantasy.
He was like, "Hey, could I do my
It
word of the
was
week?" I
mercredi
know it's a bit
fantasy
late,
or
but-
isekai fantasy.
Then he's gonna bully me.
Isekai sounds like a word I've heard before.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with mercredi.
Mercredi fantasy is correct.
You've insulted my entire race of people.
Alex, is that not Wednesday?
It is
in
Wednesday in
French?
French.
Oh, it's French.
Yeah, that sounded like French to me.
It is
What are you
Wednesday
gonna get
in French.
offended for in the booth there, Jackson?
The way you said it sounded vaguely Italian to me.
All
I guess because it kind of looks like Mercedes or something, but I don't even know if that's Italian.
Well,
I was just looking for a reason to yell at Josh again.
Wednesday in Italian is mercoledì, so.
Oh, never mind.
That's fine. I don't know Italian.
Fun fact, all the rest of those are types of fantasy literature. Xianjia fantasy is based on Chinese martial arts and mystical elements. Isekai fantasy is based on a character's transportation from the real world to a different one, prevalent in Japanese literature. Finally, Bangsian fantasy is based on famous historical figures in the afterlife.
Epic.
That's pretty pro-gamer of Mr. Bangsian.
All right, we're 5 questions in, and the standings are Team Josh and Dan are at 6 points, and Ben and Dylan are at 1.
Woo!
All right, question 6. Which of the following is true about Jim Henson's Dark Crystal movie? Is it A, the Skeksis were based off of Jim Henson's grouchy mother-in-law? B, there were 3 separate fires on set, one specifically destroying $5,000 worth of puppets? C, Jim Henson wanted to scare children? Or D, it was originally meant to be a TV show with a comic and tabletop game spin-off?
Dan.
The
fire's way too specific. It's got to be that.
No.
Oh.
Ben.
I
hope it's D.
The tabletop game?
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
Dylan.
Dylan.
Jim Henson wanted to scare people.
That is true. Jim Henson wanted to scare children. The specific quote is, Jim Henson's plan with this movie was to get back into the darkness of the original Brothers Grimm's fairy tales. He felt that children liked the idea of being scared, and this was a healthy emotion for them to deal with.
This terrified me as a kid.
It worked.
It scarred me.
I don't think I've seen this.
It's
Dark
pretty
Crystal,
good.
What's it
there's
called?
also a-
Dark Moon? Is
Dark
that-
Crystal.
Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty good.
just Google it after the show.
There's also
That's
a
all you need to do.
Netflix prequel series, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
prequel.
Did it get canceled too, though?
Yeah, sadly.
Is it Mark Hamill in it?
Yes, I think.
Pretty cool. Anyway, question number 7.
All right. Who directed the movie Pan's Labyrinth? I'm really hoping this is an easy one.
Ben.
Oh. Okay.
It's Del Toro.
Yep. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
Well, I would have changed that one had I known that Ben was.
Why? Why does it matter?
That's the essence of trivia, is knowing something.
That's not my fault.
Anyways.
I just looked over to Ben. I
Wow.
was like, dude, we watched this in class. He should know this.
I actually
I
really
also
like
watched
this
it in
movie.
class. Yeah, I love it.
That
was quick. You didn't even give anybody else a chance.
I've seen it in 5 times. guy.
I think I've seen it 3 times. It is very good.
It's
Recreated
one of
a
my
few
favorites.
shots from the film in our films across.
Yes,
our
that's why I
career.
should know who directed the movie.
Why don't you talk about the funny thing?
The funny thing, which is not super funny, but kind of cool. So Toro was actually offered double the production money if he were to make the film in English. Then he turned that down and he released it in Spanish instead.
He's a baller.
It was
yeah,
great.
It's pretty cool.
Question number 8. This is a great question. Shout out to Hunter for writing this one.
Shout out, Hunter.
In the 1987 film Harry and the Hendersons, the Henderson family adopts the Sasquatch known as Bigfoot, but struggles to keep it a secret. Wacky antics ensue. It's quite funny. How do they find him? Is it A, they find him eating their food at a campsite? B, they hit him with their car? C, he is passed down through generations of the family? Or D, they accidentally shoot him while hunting?
Josh.
B,
they definitely got to hit him with a car.
They definitely did hit him with his car. Not his car, but their car.
Their car.
A car.
I don't think Bigfoot would fit in a car. Question for the room. Is it funny if Bigfoot wears Crocs?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No.
Yes, definitely.
What?
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Yes, it is.
Crocs is just a form of you giving up in life.
That's why it's funny.
Why is it
Bigfoot, 'cause
okay
he's got
that
big
everybody
feet.
makes fun of my big shoes, but if Bigfoot wears big shoes,
That's the joke.
No,
is that
it's
he
not
has
the
big
joke
feet.
that Bigfoot's wearing big shoes. Bigfoot doesn't need to wear shoes. His calluses are good, or his own shoes.
Well, yeah, but it's also funny if Bilbo Baggins wears Crocs because he also has big feet.
Alex, I'm with you on this one.
Okay,
See,
everyone
thank
except
Big feet
Ben gets a
gang.
funny Croc point.
what?
Writing
Okay, we're on a team, so we get a point anyway.
Yeah, we still get a
Everyone
point. So
But Ben.
I don't know if that's a good point or a bad point,
Right.
though.
No, it's a good point.
It's a point.
Hey.
It helps me in my argument, so it works.
I don't like that.
Go ahead, Alex. The next one.
Did you read the fun fact?
No,
for that?
on their way back from a hunting trip, they hit an animal in the road that they thought was a man, but it turned out to be Bigfoot. So they took him home, thinking he was dead, and they were gonna sell him, but he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
All right, now
Pretty
it's time
epic
for
film.
Now it's time for question 9.
There you
Thank
go.
Jackson. The Conan the Barbarian franchise has had 3 feature films created, with a 4th one proposed but never put into production. Which of these was the proposed title of that unfinished film? Is it Conan the Destroyer, Conan the Conqueror, Conan the Ravager, or Conan the Barbarian?
Dan.
Again, but 2011 edition.
Oh.
Dan?
Never mind. Barbarian.
Yeah?
No, that's false.
Ben.
Ben.
Can I hear the rest?
You can't buzz in and then ask.
Well, I was.
Well, it is given to you actually.
Yeah, I was about to say it's given to me.
You can't do it during the up for grabs round.
Destroyer, Conqueror, or Ravager?
I think it's Ravager.
Ravager is incorrect.
It's up for grabs.
Dylan.
Conqueror.
Conqueror is correct.
Nice.
They're making a comeback, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
You got a whole 3
See, it wasn't a bad move for us to team up.
You are still 3 points behind.
That was more than what I was, or less than I was earlier. So,
Fun fact about Conan. Conan the Conqueror was originally slated to release in 1986, but eventually fell through due to losing the contract to their lead actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was then followed 25 years later with Conan the Barbarian 2011 edition.
Yes.
It was received very poorly.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Conan. We'll always remember you.
He's not dead.
he'll return.
He'll return one day. Maybe in 25
Infinity
years.
War. I want to read question 12, so I'm going to let Chloe take the next one, then you can take the one after that.
Okay.
Okay. Question 10. Which of the following is not a real spell in Harry Potter? Is it A, confundo, B, impervious, C, obliviate, or D, incontinence?
Josh.
Yes, Josh.
Obliviate.
No.
Oh, really?
You just got obliviated.
Oh.
It sounded fake to me.
I know, that's why I picked that one.
Dan.
Yep.
The Encanto one.
Incontinence?
Encanto?
Yeah, that's correct. So, fun fact, there are actually over 80 spells in the Harry Potter franchise, but incontinence is not one of them.
Only 80?
I know, I thought it was...
Yo! How many
I
spells
also
are
thought
there
it
in
was
5th edition, guys? Too many.
Too many. They need more spells.
I mean,
Oh.
I have no idea
No, the
how
next
many
one.
spells
What
exist.
do
You just
No.
fix the spell. Oh, Harry Potter needs more spells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast does not need to make more spells.
No, they don't.
Should balance the ones they have.
Harry,
Debatable.
tell Harry to make more spells for me.
No.
Okay.
Number 11. Who played the role of the first Doctor in Doctor Who? Is it A, David Tennant, B, William Hartnell, C, Jean Pertwee, or D, Matt Smith?
Ben.
Ben.
I think it's John Pertwee.
John Pertwee is incorrect.
Okay.
Dan.
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith is also incorrect.
Josh. A, David Tennant.
David Tennant is also incorrect.
Dylan.
Can you give me the last option, please?
if you remember who it was, we'll give you the point.
Is it C?
See, the worst part is I had a 50-50 choice because I knew the other two were not the first one.
That is incorrect. It was B, William Hartnell.
You guys are a team, you know. You could have just...
You both answered the
Talk
same
that out.
answer, might I add.
That wasn't my fault.
That was wrong.
Dylan wasn't paying attention.
Rest
I'm
in
so
peace.
bad with names.
It doesn't matter. We're a team, Dylan.
Yeah, we are. We win regardless.
Yes.
Wow.
Fun fact, he was also the first Doctor to battle the Daleks, who were supposed
The
to be
Daleks?
just...
You mean the
Daleks?
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 The Daleks?
Oh, I got that wrong.
A Daleks?
Daleks. I haven't watched Doctor Who,
it's
to be
They're
fair.
like little
It's the
robots.
dialogue.
They're like little robot guys.
What are they called?
Well, the dialect.
Daleks. No, dialect is not... No, it's Dalek.
Is it?
Dalek.
Dialect is the way you speak.
I don't remember. It's been a little
Dalek.
Dalek?
I will
Yes,
prove
Who's
it
the
to you
first
right
one to
now.
battle the Daleks?
Dalek.
Who are the Dalek? But there's
Yeah, look at them.
Dalek.
Aw.
Here, listen.
There's an
Here,
S.
Listen. Oh, wait. Dalek. There it is.
Dalek?
All your points are belong to us.
Thank you.
Dalek, who were supposed to be designed by Ridley Scott, the director of Alien, Blade Runner, and many more. Scott left the network, however, to focus on becoming a director. Good on him.
It worked out.
It did work out.
It did work out.
All right. Final question. This one is pretty funny. Which of the following is not true about the Witcher game series? Is it A, after sleeping with a woman in the first game, you would be given a picture of them naked in a collect-them-all playing card fashion? B, the author of the book series sold the rights to the games for $10,000, losing a potential $16 million in royalties on the third game alone? C, in The Witcher 2, there's a cave that has a secret dungeon hidden that can be found using a complicated rune, and the treasure within is a pump-action shotgun. Or D, there's a chance you can hear the Wilhelm scream when you fall off a cliff in Witcher 3. Also, you can die from falling 10 feet.
Ben.
Ben.
The Wilhelm scream.
Nope, that is true.
Josh?
Josh.
That pump action shotgun.
That is true. It is incorrect.
Really?
Well, it is correct because it is not true.
Yes.
You got the correct answer, which is false. Yes.
I'm confused. Did I get the point?
Yes, you got the point.
Okay.
You found
Thank
the
you.
false fact, which is the correct answer, so you are correct.
Good job.
Fun fact, the shotgun sounds pretty funny though, right? And I found a mod that allows you to just have like a sawed-off instead of a crossbow. That's pretty great, because he's got a sword in one hand, he's just blasting some other guy with a sawed-off.
That's
Pretty great. All right. So we've come to the bottom.
We have.
It's time to announce our winners.
No more questions.
In last place, with 4 points and 1 funny crock point, it's Ben and Dylan.
Yeah!
The funny crock point was worth 5 points.
Wow, really?
Josh and Dan in first place with 9 points plus 2 funny crock points, equating to 19 points.
Let's go.
Congratulations. You are our fantasy kings for the day.
Let's go!
Epic.
Dan,
Oh, wait a minute.
You've won quite a few
Oh,
games
I
of
don't have
trivia,
my
haven't you,
fantasy.
Dan?
I have.
How many? Do you know?
A whopping total of 2.
2. Oh,
What was the
well.
other one you were on?
What was the other one?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It was trivia.
It was trivia. It was
Wasn't
trivia.
it? I
It was
think.
trivia? What?
No, it was Fredonia, wasn't it?
Fredonia?
No.
Fredonia was
No?
last week.
Yeah.
It's trivia on different
No,
trivia games.
Fredonia
Yes.
last.
Oh.
Jeopardy and
You're,
Oh,
you're
never
starting to
mind,
gather a
I'm
little
good.
bit of a win streak
Uh-oh.
of 2.
Of 2.
Win streak of 2. We'll keep it going. We'll keep
Okay.
it going.
this guy's got to come
Just
on the
beware,
season
Dan.
finale.
Beware, Dan. It's a dangerous high.
We have one person
won't
on a 4 or 5 game win streak. They're getting pretty confident. We might have to do a trivia duel in the near future.
Oh.
Yeah. I know.
All right, Alex, why don't you buy me some time while I transition?
Okay, I can do that. Well, I hope you all enjoyed some fantasy trivia because this was straight out of a fairy tale with how ridiculous this entire situation happened. But I think it might be time to take it back to our host. And that wraps it up for this week's broadcast of High Noon Friday. High Noon Friday is assembled through collaboration with students from Fredonia Radio Systems. Our producers and scriptwriters are Jackson DiCarlo, Alex Erwin, Chloe Kowalyk, and Hunter Halterman. Board operation is performed by Jackson DiCarlo. Sports is prepared and read by Trevor Hauer. News is presented and read by Cascio Fonseca and Josh Ribakove. And weather is prepared and read by Jules Hoepting. High Noon Friday has been brought to you on WCBF 88.9 FM The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno on the web. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you tune in next week, same time, same place, for another great edition of High Noon Friday. I'm Alex Erwin, and have a great weekend, Fredonia.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.